I have a friend who's a Zen master who called me up the other day, and he said, Jeff, I wanted to talk to you about something. I said, okay. He says, as you probably know, among a lot of the Buddhists, the dude is considered a Zen master. And I said, what are you talking about? He goes, oh yeah, of course. I said, I don't understand what he says. He says, oh yeah, the Lebowski is riddled with Zen koans, but in a modern context. But he says, oh yeah, the Coen brothers must have had that. I say, we never mentioned Zen. Fucking hey. I think the guy who kind of likes to let just one moment fall into the next, you know. Doesn't have too many, doesn't plan it out too much, you know. Yeah, fuck it, man. Can't be worried about that shit. Life goes on, man.
My wife and I had a theory, you know, of what it is about this film is that I think everybody wants to be the dude, you know. We just love him so much, and you know, what a wonderful way to go through life.
I approach most characters that I do in a similar way, whether it's the costume or different personality traits or whatever. I always look into my own kit bag and see what I might have that might apply to the guy. But to be faithful to the words, you're able to create that difference that helps you separate yourself from the character. I am not Mr. Lebowski. You're Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude. So that's what you call me, you know? That or his dudeness or duder or, you know, El Duderino if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
It was a major disappointment to me that Jeff Bridges didn't win an Academy Award for that performance because I think it's genius. I mean, it really, really is. When you think about all the lines, you remember him saying how he said it, what he was doing.
That's fucking interesting, man. That's fucking interesting. It was fun coming to work, you know. There's an aspect of acting that's a lot like pretending when you were a kid, you know, like, come on, let's pretend, you know, you do this, you be this guy, I'll be this guy. And that's what it was like. It was coming to work every morning and playing with, you know, the coolest kids, you know, and you had all the cool outfits. You know, it was fun.
Walter's an amazing guy. I think he fancies himself like at a hunting club with a bunch of old warriors sitting around with smoking jackets and a dunce cap. I'm finishing my coffee. I still got my army coat, my vest, and he had the mandatory California cargo shorts on, and the headband. There's something sad about a fat middle-aged guy wearing a headband.
Ah, fuck it, dude. Let's go bowling.
Ethan told me about it before they had it written, and he's just describing the character to me, and I was sold from Jump Street. They said they knew guys. It was Walter's based on about 4 people.
One of the things I love about the dude and Walter in that they're very opposite, but they seem to, that's all right, that's fine, and they respect each other in their differences.
Just take it easy, man.
I'm perfectly calm, dude.
Yeah, waving the fucking gun around?
Calmer than you are.
You just take it easy. Calmer than you are.
I never really knew how long they'd known each other or how they met or anything like that. None of that really went into it. For me, anyway, I was having too much fun to do research.
You don't have ransom without a hostage. That's what ransom is. Those are the fucking rules.
For as big of a load as he is and a fat mouth, he just very tenderly, I think, cares for Donnie, and he was protecting him from these bullies, and that's what they were.
Are these guys gonna hurt us, Walter?
No, Donnie. These men are cowards.
And that's what they were to Walter with his thousands of year history of Jewish repression.
I fuck you!
You can't really see it that much, but he did get stabbed in the side. He took a sword for Donnie, and then poor little guy has a heart attack.
That is my favorite screen death. People compliment me on the wood chipper scene in Fargo, but I don't feel connected to it because I wasn't there. This death, I was actually there, and I loved the eulogy that Walter gives.
The dude wanted to send him off right, and Walter just never checked which way the wind was blowing.
He was one of us. He was a man who loved the outdoors.
Then you learn that Donnie was in fact a surfer.
As a surfer, he explored the beaches of Southern California from La Jolla to Leo Carrillo and up to Pismo.
It's the only time it's mentioned, and I love that about this guy. And And he is a mystery. You don't really learn that much about him.
Mark it, dude.
What I think is interesting about Steve's performance in the movie, though, is that he's so good that you can actually watch him in a lot of the scenes exclusively when there's a 3-shot, and the whole scene kind of plays out on his face, even though he doesn't have anything to say.
Donnie loves these guys, and I think they love him, but he gets on Walter's nerves.
What's starting league play?
Life does not stop and start at your convenience, you miserable piece of shit.
It's all the script. That's where I start on anything I do.
They posted the next round for the tournament.
Once I'm in the costume of the character, that for me is a lot of it. I don't even think there's one shirt that has his name on it. He is sort of in his own world.
What was so great about the whole movie is that everybody's in their own universe, and the worlds kind of collide. I don't know that Maud is in anybody else's world. She's in Maud's world.
I love in those scenes with Julianne and Jeff, but then David Thewlis is in there. You don't know why. He's just there and he's giggling.
Maud's this rich girl with a very affected voice. I mean, people said, like, what accent we're using? I'm like, no, it's not an accent, it's an affectation. You know, she should have this acquired sound that she thinks is interesting, that's sort of East Coasty.
There's sort of this bohemian sort of aristocratic contrast thing going.
My art has been commended as being strongly vaginal, which bothers some men. The word itself makes some men uncomfortable. Vagina.
The naked flying and all that kind of stuff. It was to be as provocative as possible. I mean, that's what Maud kind of was about provocation.
Do you like sex, Mr. Lebowski?
Excuse me?
Sex, the physical act of love, coitus. Do you like it?
That was what was so great about being with Jeff, because his character is so laid back and so kind of accepting, like, you know, the dude abides, man, whatever. You know, so he's all like this and she's all like this. But they seem to have a mutual kind of respect.
Jeffrey.
Maud?
Love me.
Jeffrey. She calls him Jeffrey all the time. That is probably the only time I've ever really had a hard time keeping a straight face in a movie was when I was working with Jeff, because he was so funny. He was so funny.
Was that yoga?
It increases the chances of conception.
I knew that they wanted something outrageous because everyone keeps talking about him. Like, I thought he was going to be a big part. When I read it, I was like, wow, that's so tiny. I knew he was a nemesis of the dudes and Walter. So I just figured, well, if it's that big, I could take it into the outer limits. I happened to be very thin at the time, and I had the idea with it. I said, well, let me grow a goatee, because I thought that would be in the hairnet. They had the Jesus. Could I have a nail that could go with my jumpsuit? And I showed it to Joel and Ethan. They thought it was really funny. So I added a lot of stuff on the day, the shining, the licking, the dancing, all that stuff. And Joel and Ethan would do it for me like before I shot it. People don't realize that. They like to imagine how you're going to do it. And Joel and Ethan would be acting it out for me all the time with the whole click thing. Click, man. I was like, I was laughing with their, you know.
You pull any of your crazy shit with us, you flash your piece out on the lanes, I'll take it away from you and stick it up your ass and pull the fucking trigger till it goes click.
I threw in everything but the kitchen sink, not thinking that they would put it in because you only have a couple days. And then when they edited that sequence, you know, so many movies you try things, it never makes it. Every little thing I put in, like with the licking of the ball thing, I thought, well, the guy's like a degenerate, so that could be his thing. I was just trying to get into the whole groin area of the character.
Nobody fucks with the Jesus.
Jesus is an icon. That's why I want to make a sequel. I want to, because I feel like, you know, I don't really have to do much. Just put the jumpsuit on and get into shape.
What's this day of rest shit?
Without the suit, he's nothing. He's like Superman. Without the jumpsuit, it's like kryptonite. You know, he doesn't have it. I think Jesus, you know, later on, you know, he went to prison and then he got out again, and he drives a school bus. You know, I know that for a fact. And then he just sits there as all the girls come up and he looks at him. Woo! He's trying to control himself. He has to pray. Maybe when he prays, maybe that's when he gets in touch with the dude. This is a man who's looking for a redemption. You know, it's like a sports movie.
8-year-olds, dude.
This is Second Coming, man. It was Rocky II. Jesus is the Second Coming. He's coming back, man.